Welcome back to the Ebbtide Saga. So, I got this boat back in December, introduced it to you guys a few months back whenever I was having some troubleshooting issues. I've got it running now, and this is the video of me showing you how we actually got the boat running. Just to recap, we got the boat, started it up, and it ran fine, but if you look closely, just very close at this motor, you'll see that somehow it filled up with caramel macchiato. And although that does not taste like it, I'm not gonna lie, it's like the most delicious looking stuff in the world. So what we found is that the block was cracked on both sides of the valley, basically letting water in from the water jacket into the crankcase. So I'm going to explain what I did to fix that. We'll go through everything it took to get this motor back in the boat, and this is basically a reference of everything I did to show myself what I may have done in the future. So I'm now going to hand this off back to myself. Have a good one.
Alright, so in the last episode we talked about what might happen to that boat motor that was cracked. Well, I decided to take it to an engine builder, and here's that block. So we used the crank out of it. Some of the things were fucked up, but the heads, it was nuts. So we had to get new heads. These were literally like cracked right there, like catastrophically. They cleaned them up and we're about to Magnaflux them, and we're like, oh, this isn't gonna work. So it's this one and this one right here. Both sides were cracked. It's wild. So anyway, we got the engine back. We took it to an engine builder. They got it back to us in about 2 weeks. So new rods, new pistons, new rings, new bearings. In this block, all they could use out of our old block was the crank. Everything was pretty much fucked and kind of like the cheapest version of everything. So we put racing rods, racing pistons, rings. It's board 30 over. And he got it all back together, put the intake manifold on for us. The thing is, he didn't know which valve cover was which when we brought it to him. So I'm going ahead and putting the valve covers on now. And once I get this done, when we get to the next step, I will bring you guys back. So this lens is dirty as fuck. Oil pressure sending elbow. This is fine. We're gonna get some thread sealant, because that's all I know about these NPT threads. I'm pretty sure for them to hold pressure in any plumbing situation, they need thread sealant. Really, we're looking at getting the distributor in next. I've got it to top dead center here, and that's top dead center on cylinder number 1. I'm going to drop the distributor in and make sure it's all lined up, and we'll move on to the next thing. Alrighty, so where are we at? I had to go in and do some work. We've got the distributor timed. Going to cylinder 1, we're at top dead center. We got that all in, got the gasket on, got this tied down, got the oil pressure sender in there to use thread tape on this fitting, and we had to separate these to put it in, so put more thread tape on here. Just to use liquid thread tape, the PTFE enriched stuff, should be totally fine. Yeah. All right. I gotta check my to-do list. I don't know what's next. I think it's gonna be, let's see, we got the PCV valve in. I think it's gonna be the NOx sensors and drain plugs that go into the motor on each side. And we've got, I don't know what this is, but we've got another sensor that goes in here. And then we'll probably do the accessory mounting things then. So we'll move to the front side of the motor and put on like the power steering pump, the alternator, things like that, and start with that stuff. I think that's the next step. I'm not gonna videotape each step of this because it just makes the video super long and it takes more time. So, yep, I'll be back. Okay, so we've got a few things on so far. Distributor, I double checked. These studs do go right above these dowels on both sides. We've got the exhaust manifold out on that side, as well as the motor mount. We've got whatever that sensor is. It is in. And I'm basically just videotaping for memory of what I might need or to review of what I did wrong. So I think that's right. Anyway, we've got the water pump on now. I had to go get water pump gaskets. Those were like some Felpro thing that are for all Chevys. So we got this on, thermostat is on, and we're gonna do exhaust manifold now. Alrighty guys, so we have the motor completely assembled now. Everything was basically, you know, what it should be backwards. I have a few little issues. I twisted this bolt off and I forgot about it, so I can't get the alternator ground hooked up. I'm not sure how I want to deal with that, but it's not critical to get the motor in the boat. So we'll deal with it once the motor's in the boat. There's a few different ways we can go about it. We can put the ground on a different spot or something. Anyway, this is hopefully the last time it'll be on the engine stand. Currently got the GoPro running, so we're going to switch to GoPro footage. I've got this hooked up with a load leveling bar this time. Last time I just used a chain going from this to that one back there, this lifting point. As you can see, it bent it quite a bit, and it was kind of a pain in the ass to lift it that way. I think I haven't lost any like lifting height by lifting it this way, and we will have a little bit safer lift by doing this. So, all right, here goes nothing. We're gonna take the weight off, we're gonna unbolt it, and then I've got to put the flywheel, the engine coupler, bell housing, and flywheel guard on, and then it's ready to go into the boat. So this is kind of exciting. Let's do this. I can probably clean this up. But ultimately, we are ready to go, guys. We're ready to put this bitch into the boat. Got all of our connectors connected. Obviously there are a few that we've left off. This is the trim cinder. We've got a ground strap that'll go on once this is in the boat, and it goes onto this bolt. For the other side, we've got this one ready to go, so it'll bolt to the transom. The one thing we're leaving off is we've got a fuel pump for the fuel injection system that mounts right here. So there's a line that goes from the intake to it that is also off right now, and another line, I don't remember where that thing goes. So when we broke this off, I just went ahead and took this frame bolt for this alternator and took it out and bolted my ground to it. We've got ground continuity through the whole engine now and to the wiring harness. So this distributor is mounted with rubber bushings. So there's actually no continuity between this, and this is the only way it would get to the frame, except for this ground wire. So now we know that this is good, zero resistance. I cleaned all the surfaces up for that, so it should be perfect. I've got everything connected that could be connected. This will go on the flame arrestor once we get it on. Throttle cable is here, little mounting thing for the throttle cable is there. Got our oil lines hooked up. This is the connector for the fuel pump, which actually looks, damn, that looks like it's in really bad shape. Damn, that's very corroded. Hold on, let me see if I can get that in there. Woo! Probably clean that before we go in. Here's the other connector for it. These aren't the same fucking connector, are they? Damn, dude, they are the same connector. Look at that. This and this, they're identical. Fuck. I don't know which is which or what they're for. We'll have to figure that out. Fuck me. I'll have to go back in and look at the old video and see if there's any clarity on it. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So I'm gonna try to GoPro the lift and do that. All right. Okay. This is the moment. I know I'm jumping ahead. This is the moment whenever the damn thing's in the boat. So, as you can see from the sun, that took many hours. Of course, we craned the motor up really high, up here, back to the boat underneath it, dropped it down incrementally, moved the boat, dropped it down, moved the boat, dropped it down, moved the boat, and got it all situated out, dropped it down, dropped it down. The thing is, the way this motor fits in there, it's got to come in sideways and then rotate 90 degrees. And literally, like, that block up at the front wall, that gets in the way. Literally everything on the transom gets in the way. Here's a pic of it lifted, hanging up in the air. All right, so now we move to hooking everything up. But first, I think I'm going to do an engine alignment. I got this engine alignment tool. So we'll align that with the gimbal bearing. And she'll be golden. Okay, we're back the next day. I've got the engine aligned and bolted down. Ground straps are on. I haven't done much else. The engine alignment was, oh my god, just a huge pain in the butt. The engine alignment tool I got, I actually borrowed it from a shop in town, and I'll be honest, I think that it's too big for the coupler. I got everything lined up and put everything in the direct center, and I would have to hammer it in to get it into the coupler. And I don't think it's anything wrong with the tool. I think my coupler on the back of the motor, it's just got a little bit of corrosion and stuff on it, and it made it really hard to get anything past the first like 1/4 inch of splines. So I don't know. I'm getting ready to I'm gonna do an oil change on this. I'm gonna do it right now while it's outside of the boat. It's a little bit easier to work on. So I'm just taking pictures of this. And, ooh. What is that? Just some corrosion. Oh, wow. Just a bunch of stuff blocked up in there. Huh, weird. Okay, well, I'm gonna pop this prop off. There's a drain thing behind the prop. And then once we get all the oil drained out, we will fill it up with new oil. Okay, I think I'm just dumb. I don't know where I read that the thing was behind the prop, but it's definitely not. The drain is just like it is on an Alpha 1 stern drive. Maybe I was reading the wrong part of the manual I got. I don't know. So while that's dripping out, it's taking forever. I wanted to mention this. Anytime you are, I don't know, even doing annual maintenance, order your exhaust riser gaskets so they're going to look like this, but all marine engines will have all stern drive, inboard, outboards, will have exhaust riser gaskets. So they go in between this and the exhaust manifold. So the gasket sits here. You want to change these. I think they're listed as a consumable like every 2 years or 3 years. And the thing is, the reason why we want to do this, I haven't sanded this area yet, but you can see how it's rusted and it's actually pitting. Now the thing is, once it pits enough, on this side you're going to know for sure. So this is, in this hole is the water jacket for this exhaust riser. And if it leaks on this side, you're going to know because you're going to have water coming out. However, when this one starts pitting and leaking, you won't know. So this will actually, this is the exhaust path and this is the water path. What happens is the water will start intruding into the exhaust path. This is upside down right now. So this is actually, this would be sitting like this in the boat. That water will leak into the exhaust path, go down into your intake manifolds, and you'll get drips of water into your intake manifolds. It'll get down into your head, into your exhausts, exhaust ports, through past the valves and into your cylinder, and you'll actually start getting water in your cylinders. So the catastrophic thing that can happen is these are leaking so bad that in between uses the water, enough water will leak into your cylinder. You come back to turn it on and you get a hydrolock or something like that. Especially if you don't have like sealed valves and something's on the compression stroke. What really happens most of the time is water gets down into the cylinder and it gets pushed back out. The thing is, as it sits in the cylinder for, let's just say, a week, it rusts the inside of the cylinder wherever it touches. Then, when you come back and push the water out, the rings scrape the rust off and clean the rust off. Well, the thing is it slowly erodes away the cylinder, and over time you'll lose more and more compression, and obviously wear your engine out faster, if not, you know, need a full rebuild or brand new engine after several years of this type of condition. So when you buy a boat, you want to ask how often it was done, but also as soon as you get a boat, and then every 2 or 3 years after owning one, you want to just pop these bad boys off. It's 4 bolts, and buy the exhaust riser gasket and do it every 2 years. It should be fine. Okay, well, I'm terrible. I don't know what happened. I have been cranking on this thing. I have the exhaust, everything's done. We're about to get it started. I wanted to give a quick update. I don't even know why now. I just realized that I'm about to start the whole thing up. So anyway, yeah. Okay. This is the moment of the truth. The moment of big truth. That's good. I forgot to turn the water on though. One sec. Okay, attempt numero dos with water on. That's good.